Barok, and my research title is Knowledge, Attitude, and Practice in the Consumption of Fast Food here in Yanita Academy. So I'll be starting off with the introduction. So fast food consumption has become a prominent feature of modern urban life, especially among teenagers. And the accessibility, affordability, and also marketing of fast foods have led to dramatic increase in the consumption. And it's often at the expense of traditional or healthier diets. And yeah, teenagers are vulnerable to peer pressure, and also they have limited time, and also the preference for more convenience and taste over nutrition are some of the factors. And despite the increasing awareness of health implications caused by fast food consumption, like obesity, cardiovascular diseases, and type 2 diabetes, its popularity remains high among students. And yeah, so as I mentioned, this study will focus on the knowledge, attitude, and practice on the consumption of fast food at Tenet Academy to better understand their dietary behaviors. So, although many students are aware of the health risk associated with fast food, consumption rates remains high, and this difference between knowledge and behavior and needs shows us that there needs to be an in-depth examination of their practice and attitudes regarding fast food. So yeah, I'm going to talk about the specific objectives. So the first one is to evaluate the level of knowledge among students on the consumption of fast foods. And also it's to analyze students' attitudes towards the consumption of fast foods and to assess the frequency of patterns of fast foods consumption. And lastly, to identify factors influencing students to consume fast food. And some of the research questions I made is what's the level of knowledge regarding fast food consumption among students? What's the attitude of students towards fast food consumption? How frequently do students consume fast food? And also what factors influences their choice of consumption? So understanding these factors like the knowledge, attitudes, and practices is crucial for designing effective health education interventions. These findings can help educators and also health professionals to promote healthier diets among teenagers. So this study focuses on students from Yanita Academy, which may limit the generalizability of the findings to other schools or regions. And the data is based on self-reported questionnaires, which may be subject to inaccuracies. So yeah, I'm going to continue with the literature review, and I'm going to start on the knowledge of fast food consumption. So yeah, several research has been made on students to know their understanding of fast foods and its implications. And some research showed that although they're aware of the negative effects of fast foods, including the problems I mentioned earlier, like obesity and cardiovascular diseases, this knowledge does not always translate to better and healthier diets. And it was also found that students could identify the high calorie or fat in fast foods. And however, they can identify these factors, but however, they like the convenience and affordability plays a more crucial role. And some research findings also show that nutritional knowledge does not influence dietary choices, especially among teenagers. And although educational interventions might improve knowledge, they have limited impact on their impact on how students reduce their intake. And also several studies shows that there are gaps between several gaps about the long-term health effects of fast foods, particularly among younger students. And also several research show that structured education improves comprehension of knowledge and also their understanding of health risks. And also some research show that urban students are generally are more aware about these effects more than rural students. And also, attitude significantly influences dietary choices, and like preference usually outweighs their choice. And and also, several research showed that peers and family pressures can influence students more than the constraints of the healthy diet. And also, other findings show that advertising has a large impact, and it shapes like use the use perception on regarding fast food. And so, some research also found that in a certain high school, over 60% at least consume fast foods twice a week, and also academic workload and time serves as factors that contribute to their fast food intake. And also like the socioeconomic status also determines what kind of fast food they get, and also accessibility links to higher consumption. Other findings show that people who work out or do physical activity consumes fast food more often, and single parent households also consume more fast food because due to the limited amount of time of preparation. Okay, so studies shows that knowledge alone does not necessarily result in healthy behaviors. And also, as I mentioned, taste and convenience overrides knowledge. And there are certain findings that shows that participation in health education leads to better alignment between their knowledge and actions they take. Okay, so next I'm going to talk about the methodology I used for this research. So this study utilized the descriptive cross-sectional design to assess the knowledge, attitude, and practices regarding students on fast food consumption. This research was conducted at Unita Academy, and the target population included 50 students within various grades from the students. And the sampling method was used by giving questionnaires to these 50 students among grade 9 to 12, and this ensured equal representation among different grades. And the questionnaire was structured to develop and gather data on students. So the data was analyzed by using descriptive statistics such as frequencies and percentage, and permission was obtained from all participants, and anonymity was maintained throughout the study. So yeah, I'm going to start off with analysis. And so first, I'm going to start off with the demographic analysis. So it captured responses from diverse age range and also diverse grades, ranging from grade 9 to 12. And the respondents were almost equally distributed between male and female. And this shows a balanced perspective on both genders. And also, the majority of the respondents fall between the age range of from 14 to 20, and most of them being from 15 to 17. And all grade were represented. This shows like broader that we can have broader understanding across different high school levels. So yeah, the findings suggest that moderate amount of level of awareness about the health implication of fast foods are found, although with some gaps. So majority of the students, around 72%, reported about having learned about health effects. However, around 17% have not learned about it, and a smaller percentage of 9.8% have some knowledge or we're not sure. This shows that a segment of the student population that could benefit from education. And the most commonly recognized, the most commonly recognized health issues were obesity, followed by diabetes and tooth decay. This indicates that there's some level of general understanding of the common and visible health problems linked to poor diet. And also some students responded that they don't know, showing a knowledge gap. And students perceived fast foods to be high in sugar, followed by fiber. The mention of fiber as something fast food is high in might indicate a misunderstanding because fast food is usually low in fiber. So this is just a potential area of intervention regarding the nutritional content of fast food. And considerable number of students also stated that they don't know about the composition. And also other mentions like carbs, fats, and lipids were also shown, and that shows some correct understanding. And okay, so overwhelming majority of 92% believe that fast food can affect long-term health, and this high level of acknowledgement shows that students are generally more aware of the broader consequences of unhealthy eating habits. And okay, so students' attitude reveal a complex relationship with fast food, balancing enjoyment with recognition of its harm. And a substantial 70% of students reported liking eating fast food, while 27% only enjoys it sometimes. And also only a small fraction of 1% experience no liking for it. This shows that strong preference is a key driving factor for consumption. And also opinions are split on whether fast food is a good option when hungry or not. And 41% reported that it's maybe a good choice, and 13% believe that it's definitely a good choice. And also it shows that more than half of the students sometimes prefer fast food over home cooked meals, and around 25% rarely enjoys it, and 13% always prefers fast food, suggesting that inclination more towards convenience over home cooked meals. So a majority of 70% reported that they don't feel feeling of guilt after consuming fast food, and only that 25% feel guilty and 3% always feel guilty. This lack of guilt could indicate normalization of fast food or disconnect between their knowledge and of health effects and their emotional response to consumption. And 90% of the students agreed that eating fast food is okay if not every day. This suggests a common belief in moderation, and it should be a positive starting point for promoting healthier habits. However, the interpretation of not every day can vary widely. And so the practice data highlights the frequent eating patterns of fast food consumption, and almost all equal proportion of students eat fast foods once a week and rarely eats it, and a small percent of 11% eat it from 3 to 4 times a week. This shows a regular and potential concerning habits for this segment. So pizza, french fries are the most common choices, followed by burger and fried chicken. This indicates specific types of fast foods that are prevalent in students' diets. And majority of students get their fast foods, around 66% get their fast foods at restaurants, and a considerable portion also gets it on the way home, highlighting convenience as a driving factor. And delivery is also a mode of access. around 9% use that to consume fast food. And over half of the students, around 52%, have not tried to reduce how often they eat fast food. This shows that there is a lack of effort uh, that to change their habits despite their existing knowledge. So yeah, a significant portion of students hears about news of healthier diet, but another 29% hears it sometimes, and 29% rarely hears it, which shows that information is available, but its reach and impact might be inconsistent. Okay, so now I'm going to be talking about analysis of relationship between knowledge, consumption, and attitude. So yeah, a strong correlation exists between having learned about the health effects and believing that fast food has impact on long-term health. Most students who has had formal learning believe in long-term effects of healthier diets. Interestingly, some awareness of long-term effects also exist among those who hadn't received formal learning, which suggest other sources of information. So while those who eat fast food frequently attempt to reduce their intake, those who consume it sometimes have not tried to reduce it. This suggests that it's solely dictated by current consumption levels. And so there's a clear trend. Students who like fast food often do not feel guilty after consuming it. And this shows that enjoyment largely outweighs the potential feeling of remorse. And this also is true for those who sometimes consume fast food. And there is no significant gender-based difference in observed in how much they consume fast food. So both male and female have similar patterns. They consume it once a week and rarely being the most common ones. So this survey reveals that Unit Academy generally possess a moderate level of knowledge among the health effects of fast foods, particularly concerning diabetes and obesity. And there's also a strong awareness of long-term effects. And also, there's a certain misconceptions of the one I mentioned earlier, like fiber, and the segment of the students lack knowledge and about concerning this topic. And most of the students have a positive attitude towards fast food consumption, and significant majority of the people consider it a good option when they're hungry. So in summary, there's a disconnection between the knowledge and consistent healthy practices. Students are aware of its adverse health effects, but their strong liking for fast foods, it's awaits it, and the convenience and prevailing the lack of guilt also plays a crucial role. And moderation is interpreted like loosely, and this allows for frequent intake. So yes, so based on this analysis, the following recommendation can be made. So the first one is enhancing nutritional education with local relevance. We can integrate specific examples of healthy foods about balanced diets and also highlight their nutritional benefits compared to fast foods. We can also educate students about hidden sugars and healthy fats, and also we can focus on teaching them how to read nutrition labels and making informed choices before ordering. So the second one is addressing the lack of guilt and moderation. So we can discussions can be facilitated on the cumulative effects of frequency of fast food consumption, even if not every day. And we could encourage self-reflection in dietary choices and their long-term impact on health. So the third one is increasing accessibility and awareness. This can be made by preparing discussions about nutrition and inviting professionals to the school and making the information engaging and relevant to the team.